Hi TVO, my name is Josie and I am a grocery store worker, and this is my life as an essential worker.
I think that we could have done a lot better in terms of how, like, I obviously saw it from a completely different lens because of where I was working. But that lens was a really crappy lens, and we just saw the worst of humanity from our angle, and we need to do better.
So I just finished my shift. It's been a horrible day. Honestly, just felt like I was gonna have a meltdown at least 5 times today. We've had 2 sick calls, and the reason that makes it more difficult is because they already cut our hours so much and have these high expectations of what we need to do in terms of like the job that we need to do, the the production, the service, and all that stuff. But yet they don't give us the staff to do that. So I'm gonna go home and maybe feel better with some dinner. My mom has some trouble getting around sometimes. She's waiting for hip surgery, which has been delayed because of COVID. So let's go say hello. Hi, Mommy.
Hi.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Good. What are you making?
I'm making something like you.
When I was sick, my dad was so scared and concerned, and he like cried on the phone with me, and it was like the first time my dad's ever cried on the phone like with me, and it just like was so heartbreaking for me, like seeing my dad's like my parents feel so like helpless in the situation. So I was terrified because I was really sick, and I was scared that I would be ventilated, and I just heard all these awful like horror stories about it, and so I was scared, and so because of that, I took every precaution possible to get better. I had friends who were like herbalists and made me things. I did the breathing exercises religiously. I did not sleep on my back and constantly would get up and walk even though I had no energy and can barely move.
And one of my favorite forms of self-care is going for walks and hikes on trails. There's really nothing quite as peaceful as that, in my opinion. Just away from people. I had a long day today after work, and I took that walk. I came home and had dinner quickly, and I had school online, and class went until like 10 o'clock tonight, and it went actually over the time. And so it was a really long day today, and I'm really tired, and nothing else is gonna get done today. That was already way too much. So today was another busy day, and I worked all day, and then I had to jump onto a conference call that we had on Zoom with one of the Labor Council Women's Committee that I'm on. So because I'm always so busy, I don't really have time to cook and stuff. And this week's been a nightmare. I haven't gone grocery shopping, so it's sushi. That's what we're having for dinner tonight, is sushi. So today is an actual day off for me, and I'm doing some self-care by the lake. So me and my friend are gonna hang out. Hi.
My mom used to tell me that Siegel's favorite food is French fries. She's never been wrong.
So we decided to get some snacks while we're at the beach, and we were joined by Steven Seagal over here. Hi, buddy. You know, in the beginning of the pandemic, they gave us so many hours, and then they like immediately cut our pandemic pay and cut all our hours. So we have to struggle with bare minimum. It's not even bare minimum employees. I'm already anticipating that it's going to be really not so fun time tomorrow. So wish me luck with that. Massimo, wish me luck. Wish me luck. Wish me luck.
All that nice, like, you know, thanks for being here, thanks to the frontline workers, like none of that exists anymore. So people are just like cranky and rude to us, and they're just over it. If there's one thing I can change, is that we can create more of a connection with people, and people connecting with themselves, and in turn connecting with one another, so that, you know, knock on wood, in the event when we do go through these types of hardships, that we can get through it a little bit better than what we did.
The Agenda with Steve Paikin is made possible through generous philanthropic contributions from viewers like you. Thank you for supporting TVO's journalism.